PRO for YALI Delta. Yeah, so that's it basically for now. So as time goes on, we'll get to know each other better. So I think we should start from you, sir.
My name is Vincent. I'm Vincent Junior.
From
Maristo.
Aristo.
Maristo.
Maristo. Okay. So sorry about that. From Maristo. You're welcome, sir. It's great to have you here. We're really excited to see you today. So I think we should move to.
Okay, my name is Johnson Theophilus.
Okay.
I do voluntary services.
Okay.
So I'm here on behalf of Pastor Tango.
On behalf of Pastor Tango.
Are you serious? You will not be coming.
Okay.
So that's why we came.
Okay, both of you. Okay, you are together.
We went for our anointing event in Vegas.
Okay.
So he said we should come.
Okay, thank you very much. It's great to have you here. So I think it's
Okay, my name is Abigail. My name is Abigail Atubu.
It's great to have you here as well. I think I've seen you many times.
Yes.
And it's really great to see you again. And thank you so much, Mr. Theophilus, for coming. Mr. Theophilus, right? Right, okay. Thank you for representing Mr. Tango. And we know that today is going to be impactful because we hear that you'll be giving us a presentation, right?
Yes.
Yes, be giving us a presentation. So we are open-minded to learn and also to interact with you and your colleague. So thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
So without further ado, without wasting much of our time, I think we should go straight to the talk. We should go straight to the point, like why we are here.
Okay, sure. Just to take
The talk.
The talk, okay.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. So you're welcome. Yes, we just started. Yes, so everybody just introduce themselves and waiting for you to introduce yourself as well.
I think we have your consent to record you.
Okay. My name is Princely.
Okay. Okay, welcome.
Say that volunteerism is an act of making oneself available for humanitarian cause, community service, helping people in need, and deploying one's skills and resources into executing projects that are critical to the survival of the human race without recourse to financial gain. As a volunteer, as a volunteer, you might be fortunate to get paid. That means not everybody gets paid. You might be fortunate to get paid for implementing programs and projects by partners, governments, or donor agencies, depending on the system of deliverables. But the motivating factor should not be financial, but contributing to the well-being of the human race. That means when you're going to volunteer for any group, you shouldn't focus on the financial aspect. Your mind should be what you have to offer to the organization, to the group that you're working for or you're working with. And we went down to say areas where one needs to volunteer. You have the health sector, education, poverty and hunger, climate change, security, bringing technology and problem solving, vulnerable people with special needs rather. You have research, you have gender-based issues for the girl, child and all. You have children, you have budgeting. In these areas, we need to identify where we have passion, where we have our passion, where we have our vision, where we have our mission, and see if we can key into this aspect. If we're for example, if we're very determined, if we're very concerned about the girl child, we can just focus our mind on the gender-based rights of the girl child, and then you just be there, you bring out your heart and you serve to make sure that a girl gets her rights and then she's able to achieve whatever thing she wants to achieve. No stigmatization, nothing holding her back. If it's education, you don't like the way the education system is, and you have a strong point to prove. You can go into education, volunteer, and bring out your contributory factors, and then there'll be a change. If it's poverty, you want to eradicate poverty and hunger, you go into, because there's this there are projects where you feed persons, so you can just key into that project to volunteer, and then you give out your all financially and all the right. Okay, how can one become a volunteer? First of all, you build your NGO, your own NGO, and connect what you do with SDGs. But if you don't want to build your NGO, you can just stay connected. I have a friend. She said we had the discussion. She was like, she doesn't want to develop her own NGO. She wants to work for people. She wants to volunteer, so that when she wants, in years to come, when she wants to build her, she must have been able to understand what it takes to develop NGO. Okay, so you either build your NGO, or you just connect to any NGO and render your support. 2, you said join an existing NGO and volunteer for their projects. Okay, then 3, connect with global projects through implementing partners in your community. We have global projects all over. You can just get connected with one, and then you help out in your community. For example, if you have a global project for menstrual hygiene day, you are aware of the stigmatization that girls get. They are not unable to go to school when they're in their period. So you can just carve out a niche for yourself in your community, in your own community. Since it's a global thing, you just send your reports, but then you have to participate and affect the people in your community, the girls in your community. You can take up projects like that. Okay, the 4th one says attend local and international. Okay, apply to attend local and international fellowship programs, conferences, because these things will help enhance us. If we remain stagnant, we remain dormant, that we don't want to learn, we won't be able to achieve things, we won't be able to grow. We understand, right?
Yes.
So when we attend fellowship programs, when we attend seminars, we'll be able to get to know more things, grab information that we can, and give out to the society. If you don't have anything, you have nothing to give out to the society. But when you attend these programs, 1 or 2, you'll be equipped to do more, to give back to society. Okay, approach governments, private sector, and other organizations to work with them as a volunteer. Whatever you do as a volunteer, ensure you document your experiences in reports, media coverage for future purpose. Like me, I've been doing this volunteer work since 2016. I've been doing it. I've done cancer work. I've done for there's this pink project, Pink Blue in Port Harcourt. So whenever they have a program, I'm just there to help out, to assist them. And I also do a program. I affect my community people, especially the girl child. I run this menstrual hygiene program for them every year. I don't miss it. I run it for them. Even though I have small cash to get just 100 persons pad, I just get it. Even the last one I did, we visited, my friends and I, we visited a prison. We met with the women, we spoke to them about their health, about their menstrual health and hygiene and other things, and we just took care of them a little. Thank you. We just took care of them a little. So these are just little things that we can do to help give back to our society. Benefits of being a volunteer: 1, make valuable contribution to make a difference in the human race. Let there be something that people will always remember you for. You cannot leave an area and nobody knows you for a particular thing. At least you should be able to affect minimum of 5 or 10 persons, as many as you can reach. You should be able to affect someone, to affect a life. Okay. 2, you can harness opportunities that come from being a social entrepreneur. if you are engaged to move samples of COVID, okay, like this COVID era, you can just volunteer to be one of the persons to either take samples, or you help pack things, pack kits, or you just help sensitize the public about it. So he said you can harness opportunities that comes from being a social entrepreneur. They know you to be active, to be an active person that is into volunteering. If there's anything they want to do in Oshimiri North, they will pick you first, because they'll be like, okay, you have the knowledge, you know what to do. So they'll just pick you and then they'll give you the opportunity. And many people have been able to even travel, leave the country because of this volunteering experience. Okay, we have local and global recognitions. The fifth one is that you enjoy social protection, open doors to new opportunities. You enjoy grants and donations. You have nominations to attend foreign programs, like I earlier stated. That even this YALI fellowship program, you can just be nominated to represent us. Then provide job creation in our system where there is rising unemployment. Then you can also be engaged and rewarded on working on different projects at the same time. So just read to us his volunteer experience. Okay, 1. On the impact of governance in educational development in Nigeria between 1973 and 2003 through an NGO, that's the Center for the Study of Economies of Africa, funded by international organization. The fifth one, I volunteer as a research assistant on Nigeria gender profile. Is unending. Even till now, he's still, the reason why he's not here is still because he went to do something. So we all, I know we have our own areas, and we're not just hearing this for the first time. We've been doing it, so it's not new. It's for all of us to talk about. Even when he's done with his own talk, we'll see, share our thoughts and talk about the new thing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Miss Quincy. That was an amazing section. It was really enlightening, and I believe that everyone has gained one or two things from what you've said. I think we should call on Mr. Theophilus.
Thank you. Though we'll just do a practical talk for every one of us. I actually did volunteerism, and when I came into Asaba the first time, I met him. I said, what is the land open unto? What can someone gain from this land? As I had been working in an hotel, in a filling station, and he said, do volunteerism. I said, okay, if I'm to volunteer, under who? So he networked me into TB program. And from there, one thing I discovered for volunteerism is success stories. If you don't have success stories, it's as good as you're not working. Because that which you are doing is for others to be able to tell how effective you are to them, not just for yourself. Now, little by little, I was able to gain grants into different NGOs from the start. I started with primary healthcare, that is Delta State Primary Healthcare. From there, we worked with Caritas in the HIV program. Furthermore, with WHO, working with CCRN, KSCV. This year, like one thing she made mention of, consistency in what you do. I discovered if I should shift into HIV project or malaria project, these are other aspects I can engage in. But I felt I will not be effective in that project. So I took the line of tuberculosis. And from there, I've been able to gain other NGOs to partner with. Though whenever they are going for outreaches, be it HIV or anything, they always call and say, okay, go with us, get a free test. And with that alone, I've been able to gain access to several persons. Now, on the other aspect is if you're able to, like me, I work with 6 different NGOs on TV programming. Now, the only way I benefit from it, definitely, you do it selflessly, but there are some benefits attached to it. Like one of the organizations I work with, there are stipends they pay on shipment of TB samples, and that money is being paid 2,000 naira for a shipment. So you ship 3 times a week, and if you are to ship in the month, that's about 15 times or 12 times. Then they pay you separately for positive cases of about 4,000 naira. Sometimes they also pay you for each case you have, whether positive or negative. They pay you 250 naira. So sometimes when you sum this up, some persons working in the offices, they don't get up to what you get. So sometimes some people believe in, I want to work in an office, then they will pay me 50,000. It's good to work in an office where they will pay you 50,000, 100,000, but they are managing your time for you. Because I've seen that working in these different places, they don't consume my time. My time is restricted. Like somebody came to our church while we were giving a lecture one time, said, we are working like persons as though we are in the US. Because you work 1 hour, you go back home, they pay your salary. So, but sometimes some persons ask, are these jobs in Nigeria? The truth is, they are. The only problem is how to identify them. There are several NGOs, several openings, like it was mentioning one. I can go to his company now and say, I want to render service. It's not because they want to pay me. But from there, I can see something that will benefit me from that participation. Because if I prove that I can do this area very well, though I've worked in an hotel, I told the manager that they employed me to do laundry work. Then I told him, I said I can do maintenance, which is electrical services. He said, okay, go ahead and do it. When the receptionist left, I said I can work in the reception. He said, no. You are not going too far. Because you want to do, you understand? I said yes, because there's nothing too hard for you to learn. Because so if everyone is open and you have even someone that said, okay, I want to give online lectures, you might think it's hard. Somebody will just be in his house and be watching that video and one day present it to someone else from there. But some persons believe that if I start it, what will be the end result? So maybe some of us still have other experiences we'll also share. But from what he said, because one thing I love from him is that he's into people. He has a people raising mandate, so which mentorship and the rest. So if we have any suggestions, opinions, questions, we are free to ask. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Theophilus. Again, that was really, really enlightening. And I mean, listening to you was really, really exciting. Like, especially when you were talking about the tobacco, the money aspect, because I know everybody is money conscious, and we all have our individual needs. And even though you are volunteering, you also want something in return. So I actually like that, and I believe that so many of us has actually gained insight towards that, because some people believe it's just okay, volunteering is just giving your time, pure service, and there's no benefit, there's little or no benefit. So I really want to say thank you so much for that short but loaded section. Thank you so much. So I think the ground is open for everybody. You can share your volunteer experience and 1 or 2 things you feel that we should add to this conversation. So I think we should start from Mr. Vincent. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. I'm Vincent Jr. from Maristop International. Maristop is actually an NGO. But then let us get a clarification. The clarification would be this. Individuals fall within different circles. I as an individual might decide to say that I want to work in an organization and believe that through my work and services, I am also volunteering too. Now by that what I mean is, when the civil servant wakes up in the morning and goes to whatever offices, the person is rendering service, because at the heart of volunteering is service. So in that case, I just believe that everybody is a volunteer, consciously or unconsciously. Then under the volunteerism again, we can categorize into paid volunteer and non-paid. Now when you use the word paid, it's the same thing as saying NYSC, where it is that they don't tag you under a salary or salary paid structural system, and they target stipend, meaning giving you something as a remuneration to reward your effort. Now having said that, then you have the non-visual, you are not being paid. But in the heart of all this, there are individuals that volunteer, because I'm coming from the angle where you see people now draw ideas and inspiration from you being paid and opportunities. There are people that occupy and continually volunteer under the guise of leadership without title. They don't want you to know, they don't want anybody to do anything. You could all be, and in that case I don't really know whether I should classify them as volunteers or not volunteers, but we all agree in a way that it is volunteering, contributing your time for rendering services. However, having said that, I'll just share a few of my own experiences, just like he himself said. I can't recall the exact year I had started volunteering, but I can still date back to about 16-20 years ago. And one of the projects which I have run is Adopt the Child program, which I've been running since 2003 till date, where I have to pick some little students, mentor them to date, and some of them are graduated as doctors, nurses, and all of them. I also run Da Vinci online medical tutorials, where I give tutorials to undergraduate and postgraduate students at my own level. I also do a Da Vinci Adopt the School program, where it is that I pick schools, and every month I have to go there and have a generational ideological change using education as a driving tool. You understand? So in the heart of everything, it's service, and irrespective of how you do it, we should see it that we are all volunteers in one way or the other. Mother Teresa said, and I quote, it says, "Service to humanity is the ultimate price we pay for the space we occupy on earth." So by virtue of us being here, knowingly or unknowingly, we are volunteers for the betterment of humanity. That's my own contribution.
Thank you so much, Mr. Vincent. I think I like the part where you said you still stated that we have non-paid and paid. So either ways we can decide, okay, I want a paid volunteering opportunity, or I want an unpaid volunteering opportunity as well. Thank you so much. And then another thing I like that you said is it might be something very, very little, regardless. As far as we are doing it for humanity, we are actually volunteering. So thank you so much, Mr. Vincent. I think we should move to Mr. Eze. He just stepped in, and we are really excited to see you. So, sir, what do you have to say about volunteering?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. I'm pleased to be among us this afternoon. My name is Chinemeze Chukwemeka, YALI RLC alumni, June 2020. Okay, I think the topic we are dealing with is a very important one, and one that we, the youth, are supposed to take serious. From the time I walked in, I've paid attention to so many contributors, and I quite agree with what you've said so far. Volunteerism is one thing that the youth are supposed to take very serious. And one, like we've said earlier, either you're gaining knowledge. Definitely, when you're volunteering, there's no way you not gain. You will gain knowledge, you gain skill, you gain experience. These are the major things you get from it. And part of what one of us said earlier, I think that should be Yemi, is not necessarily focusing on the money aspect. If you get knowledge from the service you are rendering, I mean, it goes a long way to boost your CV. I, for one, maybe to bring it home to myself, I've volunteered with WHO, and That was my NYSC year in Asaba here, Delta State. That's between 2013 to 2014. And it was something I didn't imagine. And what was the exercise? It was polio vaccination. The very first time I was sent to Ubeji in Warri, Ubeji Health Center, and I got to know so many places when I went to Warri, like places like Somadina, all those waterside, and I won't forget the experience I had there. It accorded me a respect I never imagined I would be given as a youth. Because when I got there, the understanding was that this very young man came from Asaba, which is the capital. So the WHO office at traffic lights, I believe they are still there, sent me there as an independent monitor. And of course, I just felt, okay, let me just get busy. I don't like being idle as a person. During my service, it was on record, so I went for the test. They didn't just send us, we had a pre-test during the training, and after which they gave us like a short exam, and then there was another post-test to see what you've learned so far about that exercise. And I did well to the best of my knowledge, and I was picked and sent there. I wanted to serve them in Asaba, but it happened that I was part of the persons that was sent outside the Asaba locality to Ubeji precisely. And I think I gained knowledge. I learned some things about that zone, which I put in the report I brought back to them. Of course, polio vaccination is something the World Health Organization don't joke with, and Nigeria as a country also took it serious, and Delta State particularly also paid attention to it to ensure that they totally kick polio out of our living experience. Then, of course, before then, volunteerism has been one thing I took serious in my undergraduate year when I was at University of Benin. That's the very first one was with INEC as an assistant presiding officer. Of course, it came as an ad hoc activity. So we are mobilized like the WHO experience, trained and sent to the field to conduct election. And we did that. Now, I must emphasize again, it also brought to my own part knowledge, exposure, and experience. And I believe when I was now serving, the time we are sent to on the same similar exercise, sent to Warri Central. You all recall when Pius Ewenrodu, that is the senator representing Delta Central, he passed on while on that position, and there had to be a rerun to fill up that very seat. I was sent to Ogodo Primary School for election, as it were. I think that should be 2013. And then Saple, to be precise, that was Ogodo Primary School Saple, and we went there. Now I had to bring to the fore the knowledge I gained in 2011, 2012 during the Edo State election. I had to bring it forward now. Now, if I had cheated myself in not volunteering the very first time, I wouldn't have gotten this second opportunity. And this very time, it was on a higher level. I was now serving. We were sent there. Then after then, I think INEC again needed core members to assist in election process in Anambra, and I also happened to be one of the persons that was selected and sent to Anambra, Obosi to be precise, during the very first tenure of Willie Obiano. And it was a heated one, maybe just to, on record, encourage people. That was the toughest experience I had. Now, in Saple, we were attacked, but because we were trained, we had to bring to the fore the training INEC gave us. You know, when you are attacked, there's something they call, I think E25 is a sensitive material, the resource sheet. Now, they guided us on how to handle it in case of eventuality. And when it happened, because it did, the military were always coming to that. That's the Saturday experience. I'm saying this to encourage the youth out there. You are going to meet challenges, even in the act of volunteerism. Now, and for those who will volunteer on record, you also need to also train these people. Tell them the necessary things they need to do when some certain things happen. Because when it comes to parenting, everybody don't really come from the same parental background. People come from where they are pampered, others are others come from where they are exposed to the realities of life. And if you ask me as a person, I would want to be exposed to the realities of life so that at any point or where I find myself, I can always stand on my feet and do what is right. Now, in sharing my experience, the Obosi experience now, that's still under the INEC volunteerism, 2014 now, we were stopped from conducting the election by talks. Let me put it that way. Sorry, I'm taking our time.
No problem.
We were stopped. Now, the very first time I had to conduct election on a Sunday happened in Obosi. That was 2014 Anambra election. Now, if you ask me what happened, it was a party kind of issue. And as independent election officers, even though we are ad hoc staff, you don't play partisan, you don't take side, you play neutral, like INEC will have you. So when we were stopped, all we needed to do was to pass through, the principal officers to ask them, what do we do? Because our safety was at stake. Do we go back or do we stay? So we were asked to come back to their civic center, and we did. Now, they did their negotiations and ensured that, kind of a reasonable peace was brought to bear, and we had to now conduct that election the next day, being Sunday. I think our safe haven was somewhere at Ogidi in Anambra. That was where we stayed till that Sunday. We conducted, even though they had to do something to pacify us, to ensure that we are at least okay for keeping faith with them. Now, I say this, like I said earlier, as a form of encouragement. And during my service here, up till now, I don't shy away from volunteerism. Because one, if I don't get the money involved, I get the experience, I get knowledge, and much more, I get the networking aspect. Some of us that we are meeting here today, this is the first time I'm meeting them, and God knows, if I'm going to see them next time, it will be beneficial to me because we would have bonded as friends, as youths, and as members of the same YALI network. So, in summation, I would say volunteerism is one thing the youth should take serious. And those who are calling for volunteerism, who need the workforce to volunteer with them, should also ensure they train these persons coming on board and value them also. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Eze. And yes, that was really, really enlightening as well. And I like the fact where you said that young people, it is very important for young people to, get into volunteering so that they can build up their skill. It reminds me of a friend of mine that is a lawyer. When he graduated from law school and everything, instead of to go for service, he decided to volunteer at a radio station, and everybody thought he was crazy. Everybody thought he was crazy because you studied law, you should go for service, you should be maybe in court. But he wanted to be in the radio station. Trend, if you listen to Trend FM, you still hear him talk. You hear Switch One Mama. He's a friend of mine. He actually volunteered without being paid just to speak on air, And with time, he started getting stipends. And just like a joke, he got a job with a reputable school here in Asaba as, I don't know the position, but his pay is the amount of money they are paying him right now is just so laudable. I could not even believe it myself, and that was because he was working on radio and he got, a job through connection from that radio station and all. So like you said, it is very, very important for young people to get involved in volunteering, and then it also improves you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
It also improves our chances of getting scholarships. I think I should add, because I checked online a few days ago, and I saw a man that just posted his success story on how he just gained scholarship to study in the UK, and then he was sharing his experience. Now, one of the key things he mentioned was volunteering. He said he volunteered with the Rotaract the Rotary International. So that gave him an opportunity to build himself, to build his skills, and that was part of his CV, and it made his application a very strong one, and gave him that opportunity. So, like everybody has said, volunteering is key. It's really key for us, if we want to skill up and improve our professional development or our personal development as well. So, I think we should hear from Miss Abigail. Everyone has spoken. I think she should tell us our own experience.
Okay. For me, it started during my youth service. But there was nothing like, I don't know anything about NGO before I went for service. So I stayed in the Coppers Lodge. One of the guys that stayed in the Coppers Lodge as well, he was a champion for Kebbi State, one champion. I don't know if you've ever heard of one campaign. It's an international NGO. So during International Women's Day, he said he needed volunteers to help him with ushering and some other thing. He just brought some of us from the Coppers Lodge, and during that event, because there were dignitaries at that event, they spoke about different things. And I was really interested. That was where I started. That was where the whole thing started for me as a volunteer. After NYSC, I followed that organization online on Twitter. I was following them, what they are doing. I was following them. I was sharing with I was just interacting and all. So December 2017, I volunteered with an organization. The name of the organization was December to Remember. They go to orphanage homes to give them stuff. Then that time we volunteered because everything we went to the orphanage home with, we actually contributed. It was free. We didn't get paid. Everything, because we transported from different town to another place. It was far, but we did it because we love to do it. Not that we are getting anything in return, but that's with joy and all, we did it. And from there, after that, online, I would just volunteer with just do one campaign. That was the only NGO I knew then. So in April 2018, they sent me a mail to apply as a one champion, and I'm like, I just applied. Honestly, I don't even really have much idea like that. And I got selected as a one
Madam, please, can you
champion
reduce the volume?
for Osun State. I was still living in Osun State.
Hello, ma. Tell them.
So I got selected as a.
This country is too loud. Let's know the volume. Can you reduce it for us, please?
So in 2018, April 2018, I got selected as a one champion for Osun State. And I'm like, what is attached to it? We were not paid, but our flights from everywhere we were 50 from Nigeria. In Nigeria, we were 50 champions in Nigeria. The induction held in Abuja. So everywhere you are in Nigeria, they booked flights for us. That was my first time traveling on air. You understand? So this is one of the advantage of years. And I met a lot of people. Amazing youth that are doing wonderful things out there, and I'm like, at some point I asked myself, how did I even get to this place? To be honest, I was just like the least of them all. I have people that already have their NGO that were selected as one champion. I'm like, I was just a baby in that aspect. I don't really know anything. So it was a beautiful thing for me. Despite that we were not paid anything, but I did it with so much joy. But every role we were given, I did all I could. I followed up with those that I met there that were already doing stuff in this line. You understand? The hotel accommodation, the loan, everything was fine. You understand? And from there, that's how I began. I joined YALI as well, and I just love to. Then I developed interest in I love to develop community development and human personality. So I volunteered with Asaba. I've forgotten the name of this organization, but we did Asaba Creativity Day at our campus in 2019. I was one of the organizers of that program. That's Adebayo. I've forgotten the name of the organization. So it was an interesting one. Most times when we volunteer, we are even the one bringing out our money to do things, but it comes from the place of interest, and you're passionate about that thing, even if you're not getting paid for it. The joy comes from seeing that people are actually happy about what you're doing, and you're actually impacting life. So for me, it's been like that. Though for a long time, I've really not been volunteering because my job has held me back to a great extent. But now, I'm ready to volunteer more. So if there are organizations you feel I can volunteer with, I am ready to volunteer. I'm ready to work with different organizations because, to be honest, right now the only thing I'm passionate about is human capital development. I'm passionate about development, but the only thing I'm passionate about is this humanitarian services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miss Abigail. I I never knew you were one champion.
I was
So thank God for this meeting and thank God for this conversation. I mean, so maybe when you have people that are interested in applying, they can come to you for guidance as well. We also have one champion in YALI from Benedicta. She was also a one champion, I think, in 2017.
No. Twice was a champion for 2 years.
For 2 years.
Yes, 2018, 2017, 2018, 2019.
So that's actually great. I never knew you were one champion, and that's an amazing opportunity. I mean, it's not just here in Nigeria, it's a global thing, and it's really, really amazing. So thank you so much for sharing your experience. While we're sharing your experience, I think one of us worked in Mr. Churchill. You're welcome, Mr. Churchill.
Thank you.
Great to have you here.
Nice to be here.
Yes. So we've been talking on volunteering, and we've had, an amazing discussion, elaborating and exposing the importance, the benefits of volunteering, and why youth should be more involved in volunteering. Yeah, and then we've had instances. Everybody has given examples of times where they volunteered and how it has helped them become better persons. So I think from your works, from the things you share on our platform, I believe you have volunteer experience. So share with us too. Be glad to hear from you. Thank you.
All right. I'm happy to be here. Now, basically, volunteering is an opportunity for community development, and for me, I'm big on volunteering. It's what I've always been doing from the get-go. Being a member of YALI for me is volunteering for me. I have had lots of experiences when it comes to volunteering. I don't even know which one to share. But in 2010, I think my major volunteering move happened in 2010, where I volunteered back in Lagos. When I was in Lagos, I volunteered for an organization called Volunteer Corps. It was basically a volunteering organization. What they did was they recruited volunteers for different projects. They had this education project where they taught students, SS1 to SS3 students in schools. They have sessions every Saturdays where they take them on maths, English, and about life. About life is basically like a motivational session. So I saw the advert somewhere that they needed volunteers. So because I wanted to be a part of the experience, so I applied and then I got accepted. And I volunteered with them for like a year. I was posted to a secondary school where I was teaching English and about life. And then after a year, they actually called me and then actually gave me a job. From volunteering, I got employed to work for them. So what happened was, after a year, I think I decided to take a break because I had a project I was working on. So I just got a call that the students were asking after me. That they were like, everybody, all the students, they said, they want Mr. Churchill, they've missed me and everything. So the executive director of the organization called me. I was like, man, the way it is right now, they need me to work, with them on the inside. So I was offered a job, and I worked with them for like 2 years as an education manager, as a programs manager. Now, this goes to show that volunteering opens a lot of doors, basically. I mean, you might start by saying you're doing something free for someone, but you're adding value, basically. And it gives you an opportunity to develop your capacity. And at the end of the day, you might get, employed. You might get, most times as a coach, most times I get to work with people that are looking for jobs, people that are trying to create income for themselves. And then one of the things I advise people that are jobless, I always tell them, while you're waiting to get a job, why not look for a volunteer with any organization, be it a school, a church, anywhere. Just, since you're still looking for a job, why not volunteer? It helps you improve your capacity. And then most organizations want to employ someone with experience. I mean, that gives you an opportunity to have work experience. You can put it in your CV that you volunteered somewhere for a year, for 2 years. That gives you enormous experience. So it opens doors for you. So there are lots of benefits to volunteering, as far as I know. And then since then till now, I've basically been doing lots of volunteering. I mean, because I work for myself, I have ample time to volunteer if I want to. Presently now, even here in Asaba, I came to Asaba, was it early last year. But now I volunteer in a radio station here in Asaba. I volunteer in a school here in Asaba. I just do it, I just give them 1 day in a week. The radio station 1 day in a week, the school 1 day in a week, So it's something I'm very passionate about, So there are lots of benefits attached to it. It really helps to foster community development. I mean, if all of us can volunteer, if all of us can, add our skills, our time to an organization, to a cause, to a project, it quickens the process, of community development. So volunteering is very key. I am big on volunteering, and I volunteered for lots of organizations while I was in Lagos before I came to Asaba. I volunteered for British Council, Faith Foundation, lots of organizations. I volunteered for Social Media Week, Global Entrepreneurship Week, and all that. So volunteering is basically the bomb. It's a powerful tool for community development. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chachi, for that. Thank you for sharing your experience with us. As usual, it's always exciting to hear from you. So far so good. We've heard from everybody, and I believe that every one of us has learned one thing or two regarding volunteering. We have been inspired more and encouraged more to volunteer. I believe everyone is encouraged to do better. Okay, so going forward, I think we should go to the next item of the day. So there's this interactive section I was involved in, and then we had this 5 minutes of fame. You just tell us an exciting thing that happened to you today, something that was so exciting that stood out for you today. So we'll start from everyone. What happened to you today?
Let me start thinking.
What was that exciting thing that happened to you today? Okay. Something that doesn't happen on a normal day. So just tell us. I think we should start from.
We start that we're going like this.
What's that special thing that happened to you today? Like me now, I don't know, it's not something special, but the thing that happened to me is I've not stepped out of the house until I came for the meeting in the morning. So the only significant thing that happened today was that I kept my dad outside the gate. So I was supposed to like lock the gate, like just the little gate, but I locked the main gate. And he came back from where he went to, and I was upstairs in the bathroom, and I left him outside. I didn't know he was outside. So it was very funny and it was very annoying at the same time. So that was, something that happened to me today that was probably unusual.
You may not eat tonight.
So it was very funny actually. So that was what happened to me. So
Okay.
I know you don't want to talk yet.
It's not going like this.
No, it's her first before, so that I can tally.
Yes. I concur. Yes.
Okay. What happened?
Even me, I've been thinking.
I got sacked.
Are you serious?
You got
For real.
I got
We should be celebrating now. It gives you an opportunity to
explore.
explore further.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, seriously.
It depends
Yeah.
on the attachment.
Something greater. A better
Something
job
greater is
coming.
coming, for real. Forget it. No matter
Are you
the attachment,
serious?
something bigger is coming.
You know, another thing,
You know?
another thing, you would have been so shocked that if this experience, for me, I don't really call it experience. I just see it as Nelson Mandela says either we succeed or we learn.
All we learn, yeah, that's it. That's it.
You understand?
That's it.
And you will be so shocked that as you move to the next phase, the most important thing is that retrospection. What did I get right? What did I get wrong? For what you got wrong, you build on it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely an experience.
Yeah, it is.
And it's the experience that when you get there the next, and people keep wondering why you keep excelling, and they don't know that you had something.
Another wonderful thing is that
It's a beautiful experience.
Yeah.
All in all,
Yes,
everything.
It depends on how you just
How you
look at
take it, yeah, how you take
I remember
it.
having a very terrible experience when I went to Enugu. When I came back, we were having our master's lecture, and Professor Ibibi said one thing. He said, life is not a linear graph. For if yours is linear, you haven't lived.
Yeah, you have not lived, yeah, it's true.
And I just sat and thought, yes, that is true.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Seriously. No, experiences are what makes us. Seriously. I mean, something happened to me last week. I know maybe it's not my turn, but let me just share. Since we're sharing,
Because I'm still thinking actually. Hey, it's okay, let it go this way.
you guys are not serious.
What did we agree on?
No, she's supposed to be the first person.
Okay,
So she
okay.
has started first.
Let me just share my. I'll share what happened to me on. Okay, it was on Tuesday that happened, and then I'll share today. Now, on Tuesday, something unexpected happened to me. Now, normally I'm not a cash person, like I'm the ATM guy, I'm the cashless guy. I never carry cash. But something happened to me on Tuesday that was very unusual. Now, I was supposed to transfer money to someone, and then I realized I couldn't do transfer. So I had to go to the bank to sort it out, right? And then my ATM had expired. So I couldn't even use my ATM. So it was, so I had to now go to the bank to do manual bank transfer. You understand? And I've not been to the bank now for a very long time. So I was thinking, before I left my house, I was feeling, seriously, what you said, that the way you feel about stuff affects everything you do. So, I was feeling very unusual when I left the house. So I had to now go to the bank, and then when I got to the bank, you guys are not listening, you're having another conversation.
sorry.
How about?
Sorry.
So, everybody pay attention. It's my 5 minutes of fame, so I deserve the attention. Okay, so I was saying that on Tuesday, I couldn't transfer money to someone because I had issues with my online banking stuff. My ATM was expired, so I had to literally go to the bank to do the transfer. Before I left the house, I was discomforted, like I don't like going to the bank because I know they waste my time and everything. I think that was part of what affected me. So I got to the bank. Now I withdrew the money. You understand? Because at the end of the day, we now arrange that, okay, since I couldn't do the transfer, let me get the cash. You will come get the cash from me. That was now the arrangement. So I got to the bank, I withdrew the money. And I was wearing this chain. I put it on this side of my pocket. It was not much. You understand? It was just 25k. So it wasn't much. So I put it here, and then I need to get a car. Seriously. See, I entered Keke. Just listen to this story. I said, God, me will be Lagos boy. It has never happened to me before. Me now, I'm a street boy. Now, I entered Keke. And it's not good to go against what you don't believe in. Normally, when I want to enter a Keke and there are 2 people already on the back, I normally don't enter. I like to enter when it's one person because of COVID-19 and everything. I like that space. But that day, I don't know what happened. Because I just wanted to get this over with because I don't like carrying cash, So I just saw there were 2 of them. I just sat down and joined them. And I was just unconscious of everything. I just wanted to get to give him the money, And then while I was coming, I said, okay, let me stop at ShopRite and get something I need since I was already out of the house. So I got to ShopRite. I did shopping for like 5k. You understand? Bro, so smart, So I said, okay. Oh my God. So I had the 25k plus an extra 5k. That was why I did the shopping. It was here. So 25k was separate. 25k was separate. It was 30k. So it was there. So confident I did my shopping. Yeah. Man, time not reach to pay. Man, I searched. They were looking at our. It was like at the point I was like, okay, I closed my eyes and I opened it again. Because it was funny. Like, so I said that it now occurred to me. See, that's what I tell people, as a Christian, it's good to always be spiritually sensitive. If you're not, a lot of things are going to pass you by. I now realized that something happened in the keke. When the driver was asking for his money, you understand? I gave him 200 naira. He was supposed to give me 100 naira. So he was looking for change. And the guy was seated beside me. I now looked at he was looking very rough and unkempt. And he brought 100 naira. And if you see the 100 naira, my brothers and sisters, it was so rough and everything, you know. So when he gave it to the driver and the driver gave it to me, something in my spirit told me that there's something about that guy, you understand? And I was like, it was my own, you understand? So probably it was when we were doing the exchange that I put hand in my pocket and took the money. That was the first time in my life that kind of thing was happening to me, you know. So I got to after shopping, I did. How about if I didn't have money in my account? It would have been very embarrassing. So I had to now do transfer to them and everything. When I got home, I was like, wow, this shop has been not happened. They don't run this street. And I called on my friend. He said, welcome to Asaba. I said, how long have you? I said, like a year. He said, hey, now they don't welcome you to Asaba. Official welcome. I'm telling you, 30K just like that. I mean, it wasn't like. For me, it's not that the money is much, but it was the experience. It was unusual for me, you understand?
No, the money and the experience.
I refuse to agree that the money was much.
That money is someone else's salary.
Well, for me, it was more of the experience, like, that kind of thing happened to me. But, it's all good. I mean, the next day I made more than that anyway. All glory to God. Glory.
No, that's where the confidence came.
That's what I'm saying.
Tomorrow, if not, you go like.
Yes. Okay, today, what happened to me today was, it wasn't really unusual, but it was something I enjoyed. I mean, I had not entered into the rain for a very long time. So this morning, when we spoke this morning, she called me, we talked about this meeting. Now we're going to arrange and everything. So I told her, okay, we planned everything. I said, okay, by the time she finished calling me, I said, let me go to the salon to shave, because I was looking rough. I got to the salon, did the shave. Immediately I was shaving, the rain started falling. And I was like, which kind of wahala is this? YALI meeting, what's up? So I was in the salon for 30 minutes more than I was supposed to be. I was waiting for the rain, it didn't stop. So I just got angry, I entered into the rain. By the time I got to my house, I was fully drenched. And I said today, no YALI meeting again. No YALI meeting. She now called me later, and then immediately you called me with her, I think it was with her phone. Immediately you dropped, Tunu now called me. And she was shouting, she was just breaking for me as if she employed me and I'm working for her. She was like, Mr. Churchill, my friend goes to the message of Abba, I can't even reach, she couldn't reach you. So she was like, she couldn't reach you, that she doesn't want to hear any excuse, that I should go to that meeting right now. Even if there's nobody there, I said, okay, thank you, I've heard you. So I just went and took my bag and started coming. So today has been exciting, and then I'm here with you, beautiful people. It's a beautiful thing, yeah. So that's basically my experience. Ross, is your turn. I passed the bacon to you.
Anything I recall was this morning. Though I had 3 engagements today, this was the least on my mind. Because I had to meet with my organization. We had partners from Abuja. So they also sent us message that we're having a meeting by 10 this morning. Unfortunately, when I woke up from the bed, took my battles without going out, my wife called and said, the gas is
Gas wala.
I said, what? The gas? I said, I filled this gas last week. She told me, not knowing before she came back, the gas had leaked onto half. I said, but you didn't share that experience with me. So this one, the gas is finished this morning now, and she's heavy.
Wow.
I had to go and fill the gas.
Wow.
Just opening my door to come out, I saw the
rain.
I said, okay, let me just make attempt with umbrella. I got to the front. The thing was coming like stone.
Wow.
I said, no, I can't go for that. I had to go inside. I said, please, let's just wait. So before the rain stopped, before I had to came back, went to the meeting, get into the meeting, and they said there was no meeting today. They just want us to come to the office.
Wow.
I said, why would you just? So if this rain, I entered this rain, I came to the office. You tell me there's no meeting. So I just thanked. I finally said, okay, let me calm down here. So
That was just the funniest. Alright. I like the experience, but there's something I want to say. There's something he said, that I'm not comfortable with, and it's a fight I want to start on that YALI group. He said something that he had 3 meetings today, that this one was one of the least important. See, seriously, I think
You know, Rangers.
yes,
yes.
There's the way he said it that, and I picked it. I just want to say, it's just an observation. One of the things I've noticed is that we don't take this meeting seriously. People don't attend meetings, it's not nice. People just see that, I was sharing with my friend when he came to the house, before we started coming, that, our perspectives about things matter a lot. And that means how far we're going. Now, a lot of people might be like, this yearly meeting itself, what am I gaining? You understand? I'll spend my transport to go there, we'll discuss, I'll go back. It doesn't really, you understand? And he was saying that people prefer to go to places where they will eat and drink, and all that. And I was like, yes, of course, food, but even Christ said that man shall not live by bread alone. Me, I personally believe that what we're doing here is greatness. Believe me, yeah, you might not be getting anything back in return right now, but what we're doing, believe me, what we're doing is we're building a community that will serve us for the rest of our lives. You understand? So I just want to say that we should take what we're doing here seriously. Nobody's above what we're doing here. You understand? Me, I have. See, this weekend alone, I know if I look at the work I have in my hand, I'm not even supposed to be here. But it's sacrifice, it's volunteering, the same thing we're talking about. So I think we should encourage those that are close to us, to be attending meetings. What we're doing here is massive. How are we going to go and encourage those students if we can't even organize ourselves properly? How are we going to go and say we're leaders and we're preaching leadership when at the base of it we're not even showing forth personal integrity, personal leadership integrity? So I just want to say that this is not directed at you. No, I'm just saying that we should take what we do and try and attend meetings.
Thank you.
Ross, over to you. Over to you. And you have time to think about your experience.
No, mine was, let's say, very funny, and the evidence is not far from us anyway. We talked about the rain today. I actually planned to be here by 12. That was, the time is 2 p.m. But somehow I have this communication rapport with Mr. Adibe. That's what's his position again? He's very office. So somehow I just threw it in as at yesterday or day before yesterday that we are coming to his office place. So he said, that he may not be aware, but I think Zipporah also is aware. I don't know if she is the one that left here, but that in any that they will be happy to have us. So somehow I told myself I will try as much as possible to leave on time so as to be here in case there is maybe, just like when I came in, we are talking about that volunteerism. So I was going to ask our coordinator, that's Itino, if there is anything. I like when I'm there, not that I will make promise and something will come up. I usually try to, but people don't understand. I try to manage that. If I'm there, it's easier for me to now get engaged with what is happening, take my responsibility and run with it. So I told myself I was going to be here early. And then the rain, the rain. I said, God, is it today that by tomorrow I'm going to be APK for this Global Youth Network? I'm the treasurer at Delta State chapter. So, and it's been hectic. We are talking about some of the bodies we volunteer with. I just mentioned just about few. This one is currently I'm serving there, and instead of going today, I said let me first of all honor my YALI program today, Saturday, then Sunday I can go to APK for that one. So when the rain started, I was like, what is this one now? Now that I won, I didn't go to Owerri because I was supposed to be there, and then I had to shorten my my movement to Abraka so as to be here. Now the rain started, I think past 11 or to 11 or so. That was no before then. Around 10. Now it started. So what did I do? And I said, okay, let me use the rain time to mop my house. I started doing it. I checked the time, it was past 1. I said, what's this? I've been today, being sincere to myself, I've made out time. And it's just like you've made, for you to attend something, time has to be on your side. And then the resource and energy So these things were on my own side now. Now the force of nature, which you cannot cheat. So what happened was I just said anyhow it happens, I will still try.
Yeah.
You said earlier, my brother, you said youth are the leaders of tomorrow. I no longer believe in that maxim. You understand? Because once I was young, now I'm not old, but I've gotten to a certain level. The youth I knew then are not yet leaders. So to me, I feel there should be a reconstruct to that very statement. Youth are actually leaders of today. I no longer believe that they are leaders of tomorrow. Now, bring it back to the group issue. Maybe some persons there who are maybe relaxed, the word is relaxed. Maybe they feel youth are leaders of tomorrow. And tomorrow never comes. Are you aware? Tomorrow never comes. By the time you get to today, tomorrow is still in the future. If you get to tomorrow, it becomes today, and today becomes yesterday. It is still in the future. So to me, I feel an understanding we within the YALI network should work with is that we are leaders or change makers of today.